Oh, we got one person already in here. What's going on, people? Just trying to share this into all the different places that we customarily share it to let people know that we are indeed about to have a conversation about your Miami Heat. So, yeah, obviously, I appreciate everyone who has taken the time to step in here, come into the playback space. Uh, yeah, my bad. I can hear myself on different tabs that I have to mute. And I'm just getting it set up. I'm getting my playback set up in the way that I customarily like to have it set up so that I can see kind of like YouTube comments as they come in because we do have this live on YouTube. Uh, but yeah, anybody wants to speak, feel free to come to the playback.tv. If you're joining us from either Twitter or the YouTube audience and you want to speak, come over to playback.tv / the Basement Sports Network. And you could request to be proud by Pat said Hero can't be injury prone. However, he is. I don't know if it's an amalgamation of like accidents, circumstance, or whatever, but bruh's never here when it's time to play. I titled this shit "We've Had Enough" because I think people have gotten tired of kind of like the stereotypical Miami Heat mantras that have been passed around. You're starting to see like a general turn of the fan base, and that kind of culminated last night in the loss to the Warriors. Like I wasn't moved. Like I don't know if I've said this before, but this season has kind of left me kind of numb, where I'm not getting upset at the team for not performing at the same level. I don't. I just I don't care. And I think like that's starting to exist amongst other members of the fan base. But it's interesting to watch how the narratives have kind of turned. Chao Su, my boy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I haven't the Heat losing don't affect me no more for the rest of the season. So the sun came up. What am I about to be mad about?
You said the Heat not going to affect you for the rest of the season.
No, because I've been saying this for months. I'm like, bro, these dudes stink relative to what they're supposed to be. Like, if this was the Hawks, fantastic. This is a great season. But for the Heat, I've been telling people the offense stinks. It's always stunk. Jimmy Butler doesn't care. He may care in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care for 95% of the season. We're relying on Haywood Highsmith spot up threes. It's like the team ain't going nowhere.
I don't know, bro. Like I think what it is, dog, is like people are just now starting to realize, like, what's his name, Wes Goldberg from Locked On Heat. Like he said it on their pod. He was just kind of like, we don't have enough. And then I was listening to the Random Scrub Heat podcast, and then I saw LJ's name on there was "We've Had Enough," and I thought that was like an interesting play on kind of like the way that they've kind of gone about this bill, whereas we can get by with just the bare minimum of things necessary in order to consider yourself a contending team. Like, and I don't know, I just think the fan base is overall like sick of that shit.
Bad habits catch up with you. Just because you won a few gambles doesn't mean you weren't practicing bad. It's that that dude who just gets by in life, but every time something is about to catch up with him, he just hits the lottery again. He just keeps doing it until he get mugged in that alley because he kept walking down that alley too many times. And
Donald
that's what
Trump.
yeah, that's what the Heat did. The Heat listen, Jimmy Butler ain't changed anything he's been doing. He's missed 20 to 25 games a season. Doesn't and when he does play games, you don't know if he's going to try hard. And now it's been 5 seasons in. You know what they did? They did what they did to James Harden in Houston. Placate him. Hey, you can do whatever you want. Show up whenever you want. Ask for whatever you want. And now you 5 years in, you gave him all the money. Now you're just sitting here like, oh, well, I guess we'll just have to do what we have to do and pray and hope that in the playoffs he elevates. And now you're sitting here and you're like, oh, Bam's probably going to get hurt. Like at this point, I know there's going to be another season where Bam's going to get an actual injury where he can't play through at this rate because he can't keep doing this. His body is barely holding up now.
I'm kind of figuring out and want to welcome the basement members who joined. My boy Kane Ricky, Kane Kendall, and Kane New, even though New's a queen. So I'll start with New. New, who they gonna blame this time? Like this on this season? Like it's always a reason or a rationale amongst the Heat fan base, and I want to know like kind of where does that land this time? Like who's getting blamed for this season?
Health. They're not gonna blame any singular person. They're not gonna look at it at the root. They're just gonna be like, oh, they weren't healthy. If they get healthy, deepest best team in the Jimmy Butler build. That's how I see it. Because even right now, bro, Pat Riley ain't getting no real smoke. Like,
Not at all.
and I don't think Dame is cooked, but Dame looking cooked in Milwaukee has been this nigga's saving grace. Because if Damian Lillard was the Damian Lillard that he would have been in Miami, and that he is whenever Giannis isn't playing with him, like the fit just does not work. If Dame was the Dame that he's still shown he's capable to be whenever Giannis isn't on the court, we'd be on Pat Riley's head like we were last season when Donovan. Well, not we, because I'm on his head regardless, but people would be on his head like they were last season when Donovan Mitchell was scoring 70 points. But Dame's been bad and Milwaukee's been quote unquote bad. Milwaukee's been inconsistent. So you barely even hear about like, yo, them niggas really fumbled Damian Lillard in the offseason, bro.
I feel like that day of reckoning is going to come in like the playoffs when Milwaukee advances like well beyond because like there's a like a lot of Heat fans who are sitting up here like earlier in the season it was like I'm not afraid of Milwaukee. And we kind of like cautioned against that. Like, it's like they still have two very good players that can carry them in a playoff series. And we're going to get an opportunity to see that in the postseason. But yeah, I don't know, Kendall, you feeling similar like the day of reckoning is going to come when when the like in the playoffs? Or do you think like this regular season has kind of like finally just been such a shit show that people realize what's going on?
Realize people up on game. I don't necessarily think it means that, that the Heat give a fuck. Bro, like, I'm going to be dead ass. Like, I think this is, like, a money thing and, like, trying to get over on the cheap. Like, I just can't get beyond that. Like, because before you even think about fumbling Dame, just the Bradley Beal thing, bro. Like, the quote got put up by somebody today. Like, I forgot his name. Nava something. I forgot his name. And he usually drops like Heat quotes, or like Heat stuff. And like Bill said it that they was dragging their feet. Like that's how he described it. Like he described Miami as dragging their feet, bro. And it was like, if we keeping it real, bro, like the Heat could have came up, bro. Like you probably could have got Porzingis and Beal for Hero, Lowry, and some picks, bro. Like you really could have added talent. But we know what that money would have been, like what the issue would have been. It would have been money, bro. Like, and it's sad to say, but like they tried to get over on the cheap. And
Bradley Beal's played more games than Tyler Hero. This, by the way, I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, bro. Like Terry Rozier might play more games for Miami than Tyler Hero, bro. Like that's fucking insane. Like it's literally crazy to think about, but it's like a reality. And to Charles Sue's point with Jimmy and James Harden, that's a great comparison, bro. The only thing that's missing between the two is the thing that I think we all would actually appreciate that James Harden kind of does. When that nigga don't like something about the team, and it's usually his co-star, he bitches and complains. And Daryl Morey gets him the fuck out of there. Bro, like Jimmy had done none of that until this off season, bro. It took him till like now, like to be like, okay, yeah, I want Dame. And that wasn't really even him. It was, I take that as Jimmy like welcoming Dame, but like in asking for him, yeah, but that was more like Bam like had that connection. You feel me? Like he wanted to upgrade the team. And it's just like all this, we have enough shit from Spo, bro. Like I get it, Spo, you're a great coach, bro. But just because you're a great coach, you don't have to be arrogant to the fact that's a level of arrogance that you don't that you have achieved no, like you didn't reach your highest heights of success as a coach through that lens, like through that walk. We have enough. No, motherfucker, you had enough star power. Like, so to say it's disrespectful to your locker room, it's disrespectful to like basketball people who enjoy basketball, bro. Like, and I think the fan base is just growing tired of that shit. And then let's like the cherry on top, like the Tyler Hero, bro. Like, my man just can't be quiet, bro. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, in all seriousness, bro, just shut the fuck up. How are you out here saying Shams is capping? Bro, he probably got that information from someone you talk to on a daily basis. Shams isn't just out here saying that shit. So is he capping about you, but he ain't capping about Duncan? So, right? What he said about Duncan is true. But why do you feel the need to even speak, bro? Like, you're not even like, you haven't been playing for so long, dog. Like, consistently in Miami, that it's just like, bro, why are you doing this? It's just a level of like incompetence, but it's covered up by past success. It's like they kind of remind me of the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. Like a football, like a well-respected franchise organization, and that has success and won Super Bowls and NBA championships in the past. So it's like we only question them when shit like really hits the fan. Like, but bro, like I think the fan base is totally over it, and that's it.
Yeah, I think when you start to see the people who you customarily go to for like your, I'll put it like this. I'll just say it. Like, I watched the 5 Reasons post game show. It's like the game before last. It was summer. But Major Passes was on there, like criticizing the team. And if you know who that is on Twitter, like he's the one of the most optimistic people that you've ever seen. And I started to see him kind of get like shook by what he's watching.
Anthony Chain put out a tweet like damn near right after Tyler, like saying like, "Oh, there's still no timetable." Where it's just like, bro, it's pretty much the Heat's way of like telling Tyler to shut the fuck up. Like, bro, that's literally what it is. Like, that's their way of saying he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, he's not returning soon, even though he worked out.
He does not speak for our organization. Is kind of what they did. I know we got other basement members up here, but just jumped in here like just to bless because we got both of them up here.
Can I just say something real quick?
We're gonna do this again.
Sure. I'm gonna make sure I differentiate what I tell you.
Just real quick to what you said about that Major Passes. I can't speak on that man. I don't know that man. Yeah. Sorry to that man. But all you niggas doing this, like fans, content creators, y'all, all you niggas is corny, bro. Y'all are corny. Niggas have been calling out Jimmy Butler, the Heat, like for seasons now. Like, this is not nothing new. And you niggas led the charge and kicking niggas backs in and calling people fake fans and saying
not my back.
Well, they ain't kicked my back. I said niggas. Not me. Them niggas.
Yeah, multiple niggas.
Yeah. The mother niggas. They have led the charge, like spearheaded, trying to well you guys aren't real fans. Go be a Magic fan if you don't like it. Now, because fans are getting fed up and people are tired. Like, bro, Jimmy Butler was just at the Miami Open. Now this nigga can't play, and you fighting for playoff positioning. Now, because it's cool to be like, bro, Jimmy, this a bad look. Now everybody's like, yeah, man, you can't really keep getting y'all lame. You late to the party and you lame. Shut up. Major Passes or whoever else, I don't care. You're lame. Period.
I think that's kind of like what it is. It's like, at what point did it become like? At what point did it turn to an extent? Like, I wanted to know, like, kind of
when
like
they missed on game.
No, that like I know that for some of us, but even at the beginning of the season, you still had people holding out the same hope that this team was capable of doing something.
They did this after the Hawks game last year too. They did. Max Strus made them threes, and everything switched up. After the Hawks game last year, it was the same stuff.
But that's okay, Child. That's in the playoffs. Like, I'm not finna knock people for like rooting for our team. Like, bro, I was rooting for the team. Like, in the playoffs. Like, bro.
I understand rooting. But then being like,
oh, okay,
we don't have to do this stuff. Like when the Dame stuff came out, and they were that's when I got worried when they started puffing out their chests too much. I'm like, listen, guys, I understand about like whatever. Like, hey, I like Duncan, I like here. This is Damian Lillard. Shut the fuck up. Give them what they want and move on. But when they started doing we're the Miami Heat. Like, we give you what we tell you want, and then we you know what? Matter of fact, throw Anthony Simmons in too. That's how they were acting. I'm like, well, just get the trade done and move on, and we'll find another scrub to put on at the 3. But that's when I got worried. I was like, we're not that 2014 team anymore. We need to win. There's no we don't just show up and win. And that's how the fan base acts. And now they're getting their ass kicked now. And I think they deserve it.
Yeah, but but that's what I'm asking. Like, kind of like, when did the mentality of the fan base, like, when did it become okay? Now is an appropriate time to kind of like pivot on the opinions of the team, because it feels like it just happened this week.
Wait,
like
Royal, can I say one thing? Because I got to jump off for a meeting. I don't want to skip anybody.
Go ahead.
Like, just on that topic, like, I think that you guys are like too like optimistic or like excited that like the tide is turning and this and that, because all these people that now we think are like coming around or not coming around, we can't have more than 7 available guys on any given night and they're frustrated. But don't be fooled that they think that this roster as currently constructed is enough. They're just not available, and now everybody's frustrated that we're losing games. Like, I think that we're in like a different bag of like, you look at these 15 dudes and you're like, dude, that's not like finals like worthy. You know what I mean? I think these people are just like now frustrated again with all the things we've been saying with what the fuck is this Jimmy shit of you're not going to be available when we could like get out of a play-in if we just won a few more games and this and that, or, you know, on the Tyler thing, on the whatever. But it's like everybody's just frustrated now that like on any given night we have 5 guys that are important to the team not playing for whatever bullshit reason. And it's like, yeah, we're losing games, but trust me, look at all the people that are saying, oh, if this team was healthy. Personally, I don't think it matters if every single person on this team were available. Like, this team has way more problems beyond that, like as constructed. So I just don't feel like this like shift as much as like people are kind of like changing their narrative a little bit. Like, I don't think that it's changed from like we have enough. I think all these people do believe that we have enough. And again, we're just seeing now, like, we don't have enough depth and we don't have enough when XYZ player is out. So it's like, we just can't, like, you lose Duncan, you lose Jimmy for a game, you lose whatever. Like, we can't win a game. We can't win a game against other depleted teams. We can't whatever. And that's because we're not deep. Like, you want to talk about like, oh, this team's deep. Like, talk about the Nuggets. Like, talk about somebody else. Like, someone can come off the bench and we're not, you know, like struggling to score, you know, 90 points in a game. Like, it's just.
So I think what you're talking about ties directly into what New was saying, where it's like the people will blame injuries for this team's lack of success as opposed to like the team just not being good enough, which is fucking hilarious, bro. Like, because like, you know, it's coming next year. Like, even though people are having all these opinions right now, they're going to talk about how the team wasn't healthy at the beginning of next season. Like, when next season starts,
all 15 of these dudes were just available for a night so we could just put that shit to bed, because it's like they really
want a 7-game losing streak with
and listen, but I don't want to, like, I'm not going to discount the fact that we struggle with, you know, Kevin Love was starting to get in his bag, that we're struggling missing Duncan shooting, that we're whatever. Injuries are a real thing, and I'm not trying to discount that, but it's like these are the same people that think, again, that this roster as constructed is enough, nothing to do with injuries. Everyone else is allowed to be frustrated about injuries and missing dudes on the floor on any given night. But again, all these people are already like happy with what we got. So it's like, forget the whole, oh, we didn't get Beal or Donovan or this and that. These are all the people that said we don't need any of that shit. We're good. We got a deep roster. We got a deep bench. Like, we're good. Like, we don't. That's like, just like, you can't even correct that. That's just insanity. These people are so convinced of that it's like, man, what I would do to have all these guys available on one night so they could just shut up with that. Like,
so that's kind of like the hypocritical side of it. Like, you can't on one hand say this is a deep roster and then complain that we don't have a full roster. Like, yes. if this roster is as talented throughout as you have claimed it to be, then we should be able to not necessarily excel or anything like that, but we should be able to survive a few games here and there of like injury. So like when Tyler got injured and we had depth at his position in terms of Duncan Robinson, we were able to fight. We were able to succeed and then find a lane or we were able to survive and then find a lane where we can succeed. So I think we had depth at the shooting guard position.
Yeah.
When you come there, everything
or when
else
Jaime went on his little streak. Yeah.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? But then you have like Kevin Love goes out and now we have no serviceable big man outside of Bam Adebayo. Like unless you want to count what Nikola Jovic is doing or whatever. But like it's just an interesting line from like both sides of this.
Those are the people that wanted Thomas Bryant minutes. It's like people just don't even understand what they're saying. It's like you can't call us deep because when two dudes go down or whatever, we can't win a game or we can't break 100 points without our, unfortunately, I don't know what does Tyler rank as one of our leading scorers. I'm assuming that has a whole bunch of other problems with that, but still, it's like
we can't break 100. We can't break 100 with him. So
the people want to say that with Tyler in whatever. Maybe sure. Maybe offense. I don't know.
We average more points. We average more points without Tyler playing than with like up to like the before the Cavs game. We were averaging 110 without him and 108 with him. So
my God.
People don't even
Wait, I love that. I didn't even know that. That's amazing.
We go from 25th to 27th.
That's hilarious. Well, anyway, I'm gonna leave it on that note. I just like you said, like it's all hypocritical. Like if you don't blame one thing, you blame another thing. It's we're unlucky with injuries. It's because this guy was out. And it's never the like harsh reality of like, dude, this team just does not have enough. Like those words are like redundant and they're whatever at this point, but it's like these people don't even like, you have to be objective even when you like a team. Like you're supposed to be able to like analyze them and treat them in an objective fashion. It's the same thing about Tyler, how people get so weird about Tyler because they all decided that they're like obsessed with this man in an honestly like weird kind of like creepy way. Like why are you getting
they can't even admit he's injury prone, Jess. They can't.
No, they can't. They can't. How many times have we gone through this? We're arguing on Twitter about calling this man injury prone when he's up there with Embiid, 7-foot ass, effed up ass knees. Those are the people we're comparing with your like 20-something-year-old little shifty guard, whatever. Like, what are we talking about? I just don't understand it. And it's like, it's this bias because it's like, that's my team. And writing for your team is one thing, but you also have to be able to be objective, like put all this bias and crap aside and just be like, we're not good enough, and stop making excuses for them all the time. Stop making excuses for the front office. Stop coming up with all these reasons like for why we're losing, other than the fact that this team is not constructed in a good enough manner to be competitive with the rest of the NBA. It's
just when you're talking about all these reasons, how many are you talking about specifically?
5.
13.
Okay. Yeah, I know. That joke was just all right, Jess. Appreciate you for pulling up. Like that joke was just right there for the taking. Y'all know I'm not really with the 5 reasons, man. I don't give a shit what like they can say what they want, like just like we can say what we want. Let's go from one Jess to the next. Just to bless. We haven't heard.
Oh, that's in a while. Crazy. That's crazy, sir.
I said I was going to skip you anyway. I was going to skip Jess 2 to go to Jess to bless, and then I'm coming to you, and then I'm going to Lenny after you. So go on mute and wait before I punch your ass up out of here.
I am lodging an official protest with Jess. That's all I'm saying. The bless.
What I'm about to say, what power does either one of them have in this situation?
Black.
Jess to bless. My guy, what's going on, gang? You can jump in on any topic that you just kind of like heard us talking about throughout the course of this.
Happy birthday, y'all.
Happy birthday. Who?
Somebody's birthday today. I don't know. But with this whole talk, let me tell you how the rest of the season's gonna go. Right? We gonna get to.
I can't stand this too cool for school ass nigga. Go ahead, nigga.
What y'all want me to do? Cry on this shit? Like, y'all here for it, but nah, we gonna go 46. That I feel like we're gonna end up being the 6th seed, and we're gonna end up faced against Caps. The same individuals who are talking about, oh, the Heat are dead in the water, blah 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 blah, are gonna be like, oh, Miami got this, Miami in 6, Miami in 5, Miami in 7. All these individuals are gonna bring the cap back out, and the reality is, we're gonna play one of those guys. Everybody's gonna have confidence, and we're gonna be done in 5, 6 if we get lucky. But I think this is where we're ultimately gonna land. And about the Jimmy comment, like at this point, Jimmy is just happy to be here. Like I feel like the other places that he played at, he was playing with bitches, like bitch made niggas like Carl Anthony Towns and Ben Simmons, and he didn't like that. At least here, like he know the talent ain't all that, but at least like I'm pretty sure he probably got in a fight or two in the locker room, and he's like, "Yeah, these niggas ain't soft." And I think Jimmy just appreciates that. So, and I think I don't know. I think Jimmy is done. To be honest, after this contract, I don't. I think he's done with the NBA. I don't think there's no extension coming. I think he's gonna ride into the sunset. That's why he's not really bickering and all that. He's just like, all right, fuck it. Niggas know my bop. Like, even if he does, like, obviously he wants to win a championship, and it's probably not gonna happen. But he knows that he's gonna, like, dare I say, an AI in a sense of like, yo, he fought. He was a hard worker. Not obviously he's not as talented as AI, but in the sense of like, he's gonna be highly regarded loser. Like they're gonna look at him like, yo, he's definitely one of those guys that didn't win a ring. But yeah,
I don't think Jimmy Butler's going to be viewed in that. You're talking about like the Charles Barkleys and the Patrick Ewings. I think he's a tier or two below those people.
That
Jimmy
nigga
Butler,
that nigga's Joe
Jim,
Johnson.
he know he's not.
I
ISO
think
Joe was a
talent-wise,
legend.
I think he's that guy from this era though. Like
Joe Johnson?
Reggie Miller wasn't. Nah. I'm thinking more to the Charles Barkley. Reggie Miller wasn't as good as no fucking Charles Barkley. Not to me, just because he stayed with one team his whole career. Like I would say,
All-time great shooter, Dale.
yeah, I understand that. I understand that, but
you
like,
can't add that, Ricky. That was a fact.
no, it was a fact.
hold on.
But once you get past that, but guess what you're gonna say? All-time great shooter, yeah, and then you're gonna say, oh, the Madison Square moment. But like beyond that, what is Reggie Miller really known for? Like losing, and I think that's what Jimmy gonna be remembered for, having the moments. Like, but he might be the Charles Barkley because he went up against a lot of like quote unquote greats from this era, like, or the guys who's supposed to be great. Like he's beaten Giannis twice. Like he's beaten Jason.
I'm gonna
Tatum
tell y'all
twice.
why that's not gonna matter. And I'm not even hating. Like I'm not. This is not like no Jimmy hate. None of that. Charles Barkley, top 75 player of all time. Yes.
Yeah.
This is an NBA thing, right? Charles Barkley has an MVP, if I'm not mistaken. Ricky, you the old nigga.
He does have MVP. He got another
62-20 with the Phoenix Suns.
1993.
Charles Barkley has an MVP, is a top 75 player of all time. Jimmy
Best
Butler's
player
not
on the dream team.
Jimmy Butler's not making the top 100 team in 24 years or whenever they release that team. Jimmy Butler's not going to be an all-time anything. Like, whether you, like, respect Reggie or not, Reggie Miller, when he retired, was the all-time leading three-point maker. Your name is in history. Like, as long as he's commentating, he's going to have a spot to talk.
So is Jimmy just Alonzo Mourning, essentially?
I think Lonzo
It's my bad.
Mourning.
One of my coworkers just said something to me. Like, Jimmy Butler don't have that. I said it a couple playbacks ago. You can tell the story of the NBA without talking about Jimmy Butler, bro. Like, he's gonna be like a little trivia question. Who's the guy to do this? Whatever that stat was in the finals, the only guy to outscore, rebound, and assist LeBron James in the finals. Whatever that stat was, that was cute.
You got it, no. You right.
He gonna be that guy. He's not gonna be remembered.
I've been moved.
Heat fans will remember him. The story of the NBA is told perfectly fine without Jimmy Butler, dude. It's gonna be he gonna be the nigga who we get cute stories about on podcasts from the Jeff Teagues of the world. Like, yeah, man, that practice, and niggas gonna be like, Jimmy, who? Like, he's not gonna matter.
When that long shot podcast cranked back up after Ducky retired.
Hell no, when that brate, Nicole this is my brate. When that podcast,
buy this jersey. He next up. This is my brate. Buy this. That's the podcast y'all gonna hear about Jimmy.
That shit's hilarious. Ricky, go ahead and chime in on the conversation, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoy the facts that I'm hearing from here, but I noticed something. While you guys were talking, I went ahead and I took a look at the 16 team like pretty much the league-wide standings. And I noticed that even when you look at the league-wide standings, the Miami Heat are they're dead last in terms of who's eligible for the playoffs. One spot above them is the LA Lakers, and 2 spots beneath them are the Sixers and the Warriors. The reason I'm saying this is because when I look at the way a lot of these teams have been trending in the last month, like say the last 10 games, I've noticed that the serious teams like the Denver Nuggets, Boston Celtics, Minnesota Timberwolves, the Pelicans, Knicks, all those other guys, they're 7-3, on pace for about 50 wins, easy, right? The solid teams are about 6-4. The teams trending downward, however, are about 4-6, meaning they've been struggling a little bit, like the Clippers, the Cavs. The Bucks are a mixed bag, but we know who they lost to last night. It's weird because, for example, the Lakers won last night on the back of AD and Austin Reeves and everything like that. But it's funny because when you look at their away record, they're trash on the road, but pretty good at home. The Miami Heat, when you factor in all of that stuff, they seem to be the one on the outside looking in. The margin of victory is extremely low. Their players aren't good enough in spite of all this other stuff that's going on. And it's like, well, my goodness, how am I supposed to believe in a group of guys who appear to be somewhat unserious in a way about what their priorities are going to be? Because look, you can say whatever you want about the Suns, the Cavs, whatever. They're trying to win, compete, get a good playoff spot, and on one night or another they might just straight up lose. It is what it is. But Miami, where they've had opportunities to perhaps make gains in the standings and everything like that, it hasn't been there for them. It just hasn't. Obviously, of course, we've talked at length about Jimmy Butler missing time, going to a tennis match, and then not showing up for a game and everything like that. Sure. But it's kind of wild because for example, going back to the Lakers real quick, for everything that I've said about the Lakers thus far, they are 7-3 in their last 10, and they're on a 4-game winning streak right now. So that kind of makes up for the fact that they're almost at the bottom of the 16 team play, like the play-in standings or whatever. I'm just like, I don't know where the optimism or the good vibes are coming from if you're a delusional Heat fan sitting here trying to make sense of this season, because with the way things look right now, you're not on pace for any success after April. I mean, this is looking like a very early, this is looking like a play-in, like an early play-in exit where it's like, okay, well, that's it. What do we do now? That's just the way the league is shaping out right now, because all the serious teams are gearing up for the final. Not the finals. They're all gearing up for the playoffs. What are the Miami Heat doing? Struggling against Detroit, blowing out a bad team by like 40 or something like that. And then what? What else? I don't see it. I'm not moved. There's nothing that this team can do between now and the next, say, 10 games that's going to lead me to believe that they're going to duplicate or replicate what we saw last year. The stars aligned last year in a very special way. And on top of all that, I mean, as if insult to injury weren't bad enough. Remember, I think I talked about this last night during the post-game show. Mitchell Robinson's going to play tonight, and that team he plays for is 7-3. So they just got deeper than this so-called deep Heat team. Yikes.
Mitchell Robinson, but see, Mitchell Robinson is a lot like Kevin Love to the Knicks, where he's more important. Like we were talking about this with Ricky after the postgame show. Like Mitchell Robinson is more important to their team success than even Julius Randle is sometimes, just because of what he provides. Lenny, I know you was up here for a while, but basement member skipped the line, and my boy Harrison just jumped on the stage. Harry, I named this this playback after what LJ's name was on the Random Scrub Heat podcast. I got through half of it, but I kind of want you to go through some of the shit that y'all was talking about on there as a quick little plug. But also, we're just talking about like, I don't know where fans are in terms of with this season and how some fans have turned the corner on their opinion and they're more like us than they used to be.
Yeah, I think a lot of this stuff just takes time and enough annoyance where I guess you could see the light. I'm not sure if they were a bit blinded before or cultish or just, I think what happens in sports is kind of a team gives you some joy and you tend to forget the things that they don't do as well. But I heard New talking about Jimmy. I mean, I think the thing is, here's the issue with Jimmy Butler. He's proven that it raises his game in the postseason, and he's been a really good performer for them. But it hasn't been enough. And on top of that, he's gotten hurt every single postseason. So for Matt, we're always mad at Tyler for never being available. Jimmy has gotten injured every single postseason. And that has led to a lot of, issues with the team because they don't have enough around him. But we're kind of at the point where it's like, what are we getting from this team?
Were you, not to cut you, were you disagreeing with what I said? Is that why you brought up what I said?
Well, I always disagree a little, but I was going to say that I think that what Jimmy's done is impressive, and I don't know where his Hall of Fame odds are. Like, he's going to get into the Hall of Fame. He'll be remembered for his play.
He will not be remembered, Harry.
No, he will. He will. Like,
he won't.
Here's my problem, New. A lot of people hype up performances of oh my gosh, Joel Embiid, he's so amazing. James Harden, he's so amazing.
They want MVPs.
Hold on. Paul George, he's so amazing. All these guys are great. They stink in the postseason, and they choke down the stretch, and they're going to be Hall of Famers. And so, like, I think you can recognize basketball greatness, and Jimmy has a place, but also realize that you're right. Like, when you don't win, you're a footnote in history. Like, that's who you are.
Harry, no, wait. I gotta dispute that. It's not about winning. There are plenty of guys in NBA history who have not won and are remembered. Jimmy Butler is not a memorable player. Like, he doesn't have a memorable career. Before Jimmy Butler got to the Miami Heat, he was a cool guy. Like, right. He was a good player, but nobody was talking about Jimmy Butler as a Hall of Famer or anything of the. He came to Miami. Let's say he's had 3 great playoff runs. Can't take anything away from him. He is not the only guy in history to have great playoff runs. When you talk about the game of basketball that we all love, where do you have to talk about Jimmy Butler to tell a story? Not Miami Heat basketball history, the history of basketball. But where do you have to talk about Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy's arguably one of the best defenders to play ball. He's consistently had more steals than fouls for his career. Like, he's statistically.
Who talks about that?
Me, I just mentioned it. What do you mean?
So nerds, with respectfully, I say nerd as like
just because I'm a white Jewish person doesn't.
I say nerd as a.
Do we talk about Meta World Peace?
Yeah.
No.
Of course we talk. You don't remember?
No, people do, but like, I think what they're trying. Okay, so it's kind of like in the sense that, do you think that Alonzo Mourning is talked about, like, in general NBA circles?
Absolutely not.
Yes.
No, bro, niggas don't even really be talking about Chauncey Billups, bro. And
I don't think
has a ring.
Everything new. I was finna go there, bro.
Chauncey Billups was like has a ring.
But
I don't never hear people talk about Rip Hamilton.
3 guys. Jimmy's better than all of those guys.
No,
rings, Harry.
But Harry, the thing, I think what people are trying to articulate is that, like, there's this crop of guys, really good NBA players, that when, like, you mentioned Paul George. Paul George has kind of I think Jimmy Butler's a better player than Paul George at parts of his career. But Paul George has a lineage. Like, Brandon Miller wanted to be Paul George, and that's a lottery pick.
So I think if Jimmy never wins, I think you're looking at him like a Charles Barkley, right? A guy who
No, you are not. Charles Barkley is a top 75 player, NBA MVP.
You don't think they're similar? Put it on the
I do not.
No.
You know what I think?
Not at all. Nunu, can I get this one? Can I get this one?
Old head, you got it.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Okay, all right, Harry. I know. Look, I understand where you're coming from and everything. Believe me, I get it, right? But in terms of Charles Barkley and Jimmy Butler, at no point in NBA history was Jimmy Butler ever considered a top 3 player. At no point in NBA history was Jimmy Butler ever considered, oh, snap, he's the best player on an Olympic team in which all of the league's best players are on. At no point in NBA history did Jimmy Butler ever lead the league in a significant statistical category upon which NBA MVPs are judged. At no point in NBA history did did Jimmy Butler ever finish top 5, top 4, top 3, top 2, top 1 in MVP voting. He got robbed in 1990 by Magic Johnson. He had the most first place votes, and yet Magic still got the MVP in 1990. At no point did anybody ever think to themselves, man, if we trade for Charles Barkley, or excuse me, if we trade for Jimmy Butler, we will have the final piece to an NBA championship. At no point in NBA history did Jimmy Butler ever put a team in a situation to where, man, if it wasn't for this particular player, we would be champions right now. And I recognize what happened last year against Denver. That was a freak run. So my point is, Jimmy Butler is a really good role player, that has had really, really, really good moments in NBA history. But in terms of legacy, and I recognize that what he's been doing on TNT has kind of maybe watered that down in the eyes of a lot of millennials and Gen Zers and everything like that. But Charles Barkley was a bad man in his heyday. Jimmy Butler has had bygone moments.
I want to let Harry
in his career.
I want to let Harry get his shit off, and then I want to go to Lenny. Go ahead, Harry.
You guys are downplaying what he's done in Miami, the runs that they've been on because they haven't won, while celebrating Charles Barkley for doing the same. Like, you're talking about statistics, you're talking about other things. Jimmy with the Heat has been one of the top 3 postseason guys over this run. So if you're talking about statistics, you're talking about regular season, which we know the team gives no shits about, while still being one of the most efficient players.
I disagree with
out
that.
there.
Well, remember, Chuck was dominant year round. He wasn't just dominant in the playoffs, though.
I know, but Ricky, it's a different time frame. Like, guys take off games for whatever reason now. That was something that never happened. When Jordan.
Well, even with the whole rest and everything like that, I think we're comparing 2 different types of players and legacies. I see what you're trying to say. I just don't think Charles Barkley is the best example for that.
Okay, but this is what I wanted to say, because I originally got, and this is where I think we're at with this team and where we are. This team will not be remembered for anything except being a really good, try-hard, almost-did-it team. No one talks about no one who's a Buffalo Bills fan is like, oh, we made 4 straight Super Bowls. No one gives a fuck because you lost and you never won anything. So and the problem with this team is that we've seen what they've needed and the front office has done nothing. They've just sat there and said, hey, you know what? We have enough. We have a great coach. This is going to work itself out. And fans are getting tired, because how do you expect fans to come into the building and be excited when they can't win at home? How do you expect this team to be there when Jimmy's out the night before at the Miami Open and then doesn't show up to a game in which they needed? The only guy that they have really playing through injuries is Bam. And the problem is, they're going to have Jaime Hawkins play their most games this year, and he's been terrible basically since he hit. We talked about this on the pod last night, Royal. You play 40 games in college, even if you make it all the way to the championship game. He's kind of hit that wall at the 40-game mark. I don't know if it's related to the injury or related to him being tired, but that's where we are. And so to expect all these other guys to contribute who either haven't done it before or aren't consistently good, and asking Bam and Jimmy to carry the load for another season is exhausting, and fans are tired. So I've seen so many things on Twitter today being like, oh, the Heat fans are the only fans that hate on themselves. The Heat fan is the only, every fan base does this, by the way. If you go on any fan base, everyone feels like this. They're always mad at their team when they lose, and they feel better when they win. For a team that's as close as the Heat have been, and they're not going to be able to win because they haven't made the moves that needed to be made, and haven't found a way to preserve Jimmy and Bam during the regular season while still winning. Ricky, when's the last time a seed that didn't have home court won the finals? So a top 4 seed in either conference that won.
You said top 4?
Milwaukee.
Yeah, because I remember. Didn't the Celtics?
The Milwaukee Bucks.
Weren't they the 4th seed?
Milwaukee beat the
See,
Suns.
I wanted to say the 95 Rockets, but they were the 5th seed.
Okay, no, so that's it. That's it then. So like that doesn't. What I'm saying is that does not happen anymore. Like if you home court, if you don't like the odds of coming from the bottom of the conference to win the whole thing are slim to none. The Heat have been close, but they haven't done it, and I think it's so stupid that they keep pretending they can do it because they did it once or they've done it before. That's not how basketball works, and I think fans are tired of the arrogance, of the cockiness, while not addressing the issues that have been present since Jimmy got here. And I think that over time eats away at people and upsets them. And that's how I feel about where we are with the team.
You know what? You know what it is, Harry? The Heat are, and I just realized this parallel, the Heat are a less talented version of the 1990s New York Knicks. They went to 2 finals. They were obviously a bit more talented, but they were rugged, hardworking, all that other stuff. Went to 2 finals and lost to generational players in Tim Duncan and Hakeem Olajuwon. And that was as far as they went. And shortly after that, it all fell out from under them. From about 1992 to 2001, that was pretty much that stretch run for them where they were in the mix, but they ultimately didn't win. And the only people that really remember, in particular, that 1999 run, when they were the 8th seed, made it all the way to the finals and lost in 5 games to a dominant young big man from another country. That was the same thing. The only people that really remember that are, well, Knicks fans and stuff like that.
Yeah, and none of them motherfuckers are in here, Ricky J. Martin. We do not care. I don't like that parallel. I like the parallel that Harrison made better when it comes to this Heat team about the 1990s Buffalo Bills, because I think that's more spot on. People don't really think about that team. Like somebody in the YouTube comments said they talk about the Bills all the time. That's a lot. No, they don't. But I kind of liken back to the conversation that you were having with New. I got you. Back to the conversation that you were having with New about Jimmy being remembered. I think Jim Kelly is a good kind of comparison for him, because Jim Kelly was revolutionary in terms of like that K-gun offense, led them to 4 straight Super Bowls, lost all 4 of them. But Jim Kelly isn't talked about in the circles of all-time elite quarterbacks. Like maybe Jim Kelly was a better quarterback than Troy Aikman, but people don't have that conversation. Like that's not a real thing because he lost. And I think that's just how Jimmy's career is going to unfold. Like because he lost, because he didn't win, nothing that he did will leave him like it has a lasting legacy for him to continue to be talked about. New, go ahead, and then I'm gonna let Lenny go.
Harry, you gonna be here for a minute because Lenny's been waiting. I don't want to I want Lenny to get his stuff off, and then I could argue with Harry later. So go ahead, Lenny. I don't want to be rude. All right, then don't go, nigga. So back to Harry. I'm gonna I see what you're saying with the Jim Kelly thing, but I'm just gonna disagree just a little bit. Cause like that, even the Buffalo Bills, right? 4 straight Super Bowls, 0 wins to show for it. They were the winningest team in football those 3 seasons that they played. Like those teams are littered with Hall of Famers, bro. Like Miami don't have that. Like being honest, the 2 people who probably make the Hall of Fame from these Miami teams are Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. And I think Bam is a maybe.
Kevin Love.
I'm not counting Kevin Love. Like, that's cute, but like,
yeah, he hasn't even been here.
But I don't know. Two Hall of Famers when you play an 8 or 9 man rotation in the postseason is a high number in my opinion. Like, I mean, how many? No offense, but like, how many Hall of Famers are going to be on the Nuggets?
But I would say this, Harry. I guess to her point, not Hall of Famers. I would say like respectable, like supporting cast players. So like where you will mention like I don't even know if he's in the Hall of Fame, like a Michael Cooper from those Lakers teams, or like Robert Horry from them Lakers teams, and fucking is Tony Parker? Yeah, Tony Parker Hall of Fame, so he don't count. But bro, Fisher. That's like. Derek Fisher, like guys like that, like
Tayshaun Prince.
Yeah, bro, like we don't even have like it's nothing to hold like the name up. Like even to Ricky's point, like John Starks. Like I hear John Starks' name a little too much for my liking, but it's like it just shows you like that his name had like staying power. Like I think Jimmy Butler might be like a Clyde Drexler type of person, where Who?
Yeah, he won, but as a second fiddle. He wasn't the main guy on that team.
Okay, so he won later on, but like how this and that's the
Tracy
thing. How
McGrady.
nah, not T Mac. T Mac was like a loser, losing in the first round. So it's like a
But
guy has.
T-Mac name was T-Mac was mentioned as one of the
See,
best players in the league at one point in time.
yeah,
Like,
I think the
Jimmy
difference is
T-Mac comes-
Jimmy don't have the regular season stuff. Like the thing is, Jimmy's whole
That's what I was
legacy
gonna say, Charles. So
is
thank
2
you.
weeks. That's all he does. It's a 2-week legacy, and then people are like, "Well, I guess it's a like Jimmy plays like what 56 games a season, and then is good in 20 of them." Like even Paul George, we talk about Paul George because he had those moments in Indiana, but during the season, you're like, "Oh, Paul George had a 45-point game. He had a 38-point game." Like that's why people are fans of Paul George. People ain't fans of Jimmy Butler because the one game everybody remembers in his regular season is that 55-point game when he still had the low fade in Chicago against the Philadelphia 76ers. He don't do shit.
The reverse, right? But the reverse is more important now. Like being a great
Not to
regular
people.
season.
It's
I'm
not, Harry. The entire body of work is important to people. Like you say what you like. You say Jimmy's better than Paul George. Jimmy don't have the accolades of a Paul George, Harry. Like whether you like Paul George, respect his career, or anything like he doesn't like. He's never been an elite regular season player. So
they have the same amount of championships.
That's the only accolades they got in common.
That's because of their teams.
Then your argument about whatever you're classifying as accolades is I disagree with what you're judging that player on, because
what I'm saying to you, Harry, is the guys who aren't winners that are remembered, they were great throughout their career. It just they could not win. They couldn't get over that final hump.
What'd you say, Dale? To Dwayne Wade and LeBron.
I was just
That's
about
the
to
only
say.
reason he was in the finals.
I was about to say, to the Paul George point, the last time Paul George was in the playoffs, he stunk does not apply. Like he stunk in the bubble, but the last time Paul George was in the playoffs,
he was carrying them against the Suns.
He was teed the fuck up, and he was on one. And I'm gonna be honest, Paul George and Jimmy Butler's careers are damn near the same. Jimmy Butler's has a little more parsley on it, but they just work in reverse. Because, like to Noob's point, before Jimmy got to Miami, when Paul George was in Indiana, that boy was killing shit. Like he was looked at as, he might be one of the next top 5 players. Yes. He had a top 3 MVP season in OKC. Yes, they lost the Dame in the playoffs. But like that boy, he done showed up. He done had a stinker. He had the stinker in the bubble, and I think the bubble has been bloviated. Y'all like that, don't you? It has just been
I see you, Kendall.
That boy passed his SAT.
Hey, come on now. You know, this degree I ain't just buy this degree, you know what I'm saying? I had to attend the little classes and shit like that. But
you did buy it, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. You did have to pay them folks for that degree.
That is kind of true. You know, that is true. You ain't lying. Fuck. But yeah, stupid nigga. Kill my flow. Yeah, but like, let's not. I don't want to sit here and call Paul George a loser when his career is the same as Jimmy Butler's, bro. And it's just like flipped. Like Jimmy had this team success now, but Paul George deserves the tip of the cap, just like Jimmy Butler, if that's the case, for going toe to toe with LeBron James. Like, I don't think that Paul George is gonna be remembered as the better player, for sure.
All right, I was able to. Oh my bad. I was able to get my mic working, man.
What's up, man? How are you?
What's going on? Hey, 3, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5. Chevy 3. That's my jam right there, baby. But anyway, nah, man. I'm just and I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying, man. But I'm just just frustrated as hell, man. I mean, it seems like the organization has been resting on their laurels because of the runs that they've made recently. You know what I mean? And they forgot that you need actual talent to win a freaking championship in this league, And Jimmy Butler, man, he's so frustrating. He's maybe the most frustrating star I've ever seen. I've never seen this team coddle a player ever. Come on, man. They took LeBron James cookies from the freaking plane, bro. Pat Riley was like, nah, man, you ain't getting no cookies. And you can't let the freaking insane run the asylum, man. Come on, my G. No. That's bullshit, bro. It's like, bro, it's like watching this team. They're like a 90s team And Ricky J, Ricky J Moore made a good point. It's like they're like a '90s team stuck in 2024. I said that in the comment on the pod yesterday. It's just frustrating as hell, man. I mean, it's just seriously, I don't even know. I said in the comments, there ain't gonna be no magical run this year. Forget that. You know what I mean? As far as Jimmy Butler, dude, Charles Barkley, Charles Barkley was way better than him, bro. There's no way they don't even belong in the same sentence. Seriously. And I know Jimmy Butler's done this thing in the playoffs. He's done some really cute things. But please, man, Barkley was a beast. A beast. I mean, I'm sure you guys seen the highlights. Some of you maybe seen him or not. I don't know. Maybe Ricky J. Marcus seen him. You know,
I watched him live.
You watched him live, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you know he's a beast. You know he was
Ricky
a monster.
Is the third oldest member of the basement.
The third oldest. That's good, man. I've been a fan since 90 for 33 years, bro. I've been a freaking fan of this team pre-Riley. You know, and dude, I've never seen them coddle a player like that, man. It's just crazy to me, bro. It's just nuts. Like, dude, and then Tyler Hero was just another subject, man. We need to trade. We need to pack him up and trade his ass. I'm sick and tired of him. And Jimmy Butler, please do not extend this, man. Do not extend him. Maybe if someone made a point in the comment, I don't know if it was Jess Bless or someone, that he may retire after his contract is over. You never know. But man, do not extend that, man. I cannot take another year of a guy, just another year. Well, we're gonna have to deal with 2 more years of this. But another guy just taking time off. I mean, you're gonna take the third, bro. It was the third game of the year, and you're taking just time off because against Minnesota on a back-to-back, and it's the third game. You're talking about October. You're taking time off. Come on, bro. What is that, dude? Bro, play, dog. Play every freaking game. That's what I loved about Zoe. Zoe came out and he played every single night like it was his last game. Come on, bro. No, man, there's a bunch of bullshit.
Jimmy be ducking smoke. Whenever he plays an old team, every year he misses against Minnesota. Every year he misses against Philly. He don't like to play them because if he loses, it's embarrassing. It's always my bad.
Nah, he got Philly out of there. We not
okay. Minnesota. I don't know why, but he may not like Anthony Edwards, but every time Minnesota, he may play him once, and then can't play him today. Next year, can't play him today. And it's never a serious injury. It's just he can't show up against Minnesota.
Yeah, it's just very frustrating, man. I'm sure that if he were to give his 100%, we'd be in a better position. But he doesn't care in the regular season. He wants to go ahead and see. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make another. I'll turn it on in the playoffs. Man, that's a bunch of bullshit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Come on, you're gonna be playing better teams. You're gonna put yourself in a position again. Come on now. You know, come on, man. It's bullshit, bro. And the front office needs to wake the hell up, man. They need to wake up and add some talent on this team. I want this shit blown the hell up, bro. I don't care if we have to deal with a couple of years of sitting back and a couple of lean years. I don't give a damn. Just bring some talent, dude. I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. Depending on undrafted players, bro. Undrafted players were undrafted for a reason, and it's cute that you could get someone to play, but get them to overachieve. Fine, but damn, bro, you're depending on 7, 8 dudes that are undrafted, depending on your Sioux Falls stuff. Cool, man, but come on, man. You can't depend them to get you out of situations and try to compete for a title. It's a bunch of bullshit, man. But anyway, I just wanted to, just vent. I'm a corporate town stealing weasel. I'm at work right now, but I gotta let y'all go. But it's been great, man. Love you guys, man.
Appreciate you, Lenny. We support stealing time from your job, brother. Respect yourself.
I love you too, man.
Celebrated by me. You
Steal from them folks.
Just be aware that them real shitters might come in there. So you in that stall hiding out.
Use your time wisely. My man Dolphin pulled up. Dolphin, brother, how you doing today? And then also want to hear your thoughts just on the general conversation that's being had in the space.
I'm doing good, my brother. How about you?
I'm doing well, bro.
Yeah, I mean, on the topic of time stealing, I'm about to fucking bandit, dude. And I deserve it. I fucking deserve it. Dude, I mean, when it comes to the overall topic of the conversation, it's kind of funny. I kind of tuned in only on the Paul George, Jimmy Butler debate, or I guess that conversation. I'm not too privy to what everything happened before that. In terms of the Paul George thing, like, you can kind of see it now, like the way that young players coming in the league, like a Brandon Miller, for example, or even to a fucking lesser extent, like even Melo's son, like the reverence that they have for Paul George. I think that kind of speaks to how people view the both of them. I don't think I've ever heard of a young player outside of, like, I guess, fucking Jaime. I don't think any player's like, yeah, I modeled my game after Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't see.
Jaime's 32 too, so
Yeah, that's a fair point. He grew up with Jimmy Butler. And from that respect, but like, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Dale said it. It's like Jimmy Butler's career is just Paul George with a little bit of garnish. In the grand scheme of things, I mean, Jimmy Butler's had the fortune or misfortune or whatever to not have to deal with the best player in the league till they had to end up being in the finals. Like Paul George was going fucking band for band with Bron. He just had the unfortunate side effect of that being the Eastern Conference Finals. So from that standpoint, I don't really give much grace to that anyway. And I mean, the Heat by and large, it's fucking boring, dude. Like, I mean, it's just fucking boring. I commend you guys at the basement for finding a way to manufacture a conversation out of it, because I'm not creative enough to do that. I'm really fucking not. Like, I would have just let the sleeping dog lie. It's boring. I think Tyler needs to shut the fuck up. Like, I don't know where he gets off talking about Shams like, oh yeah, no, that's cap and this, that, and the third. It's like, bro, like the stat that really made me laugh the most is the fact that Kyle Lowry still played more games in a Heat uniform than Tyler Hero this season, and he's been gone for like 2-3 months.
Terry is only 11 games behind, brother.
Oh wow, I didn't like my Donald Trump voice. Like, I didn't know that. I just found that out. Like, that's wow. It's pretty fucked up. I don't know, man. I think there was like the one stat or something like that I read that, like, you think about how injured Joel Embiid is, and this is like comparing apples to oranges, fucking MVP player, but like, you think of Joel Embiid as like this often injured guy. He's only missed like 6 more than Tyler Hero has over a 5-year sample, which is insane when you think about their ages, sizes, their weights, everything. That's so fucking crazy to me. I think they're the most arrogant team in professional sports, and if I wasn't a fan of them, I would probably root for their demise often too. And in a certain respect, I think they've been very lucky in multiple instances where their arrogance proven to be unjustified, but they still found some success out of it. Like, I don't know if we'd be singing a different tune. Like, honestly, to be frank, I think it would have been painful, but I would have been cool with if it meant radical sweeping changes. If it meant blowing that 3-0 lead to Boston, fuck it. Whatever.
Whoa, buddy. Slow down. Slow down.
Yeah, we have limits.
I do. I don't.
Yeah, Dolphin, I can't be a part of that. I fucks with NBA, the first in NBA history. Absolutely not, because that's a short ass graphic, bro. Now, if it was 3 other teams that had did it before, I would be like, all right, whatever. At least we count for 25%. But
Jimmy would be remembered, boy. Jimmy would be.
Yeah, niggas would be historic then, boy.
Is it all forgiven if you win the year right after?
I need 3.
Virginia Cavalier type beat when Virginia was the first team to lose to a 16.
Like, I don't even know, like, if you guys pay attention to, like, hockey or something like that. Like, the Tampa Bay Lightning had, like,
you cooking, Ricky.
Like, the Tampa Bay Lightning had like an embarrassing fucking loss where it was basically something similar, and it was like, this is so embarrassing. You had the best. It would basically have been like if the 73-9 Warriors lost in the first round, and that was like the embarrassment of hockey embarrassments. The year right after they won the Stanley Cup, nobody gave a fuck. It just ended up being a footnote in the larger scheme of things. So that's kind of where I come from that standpoint, because I'm like, you know what? If they had fucking lost that and then it resulted in the Heat being like, you know what? We're dead ass wrong. We have to look in the mirror, and it resulted in Lillard. It resulted in a championship. It resulted in all that shit. I've been like, you know what? It was nasty as fuck, but if that's the way that it had to be, so be it. But
Heat culture doesn't own a mirror.
Yeah. No shit.
So a couple of things. Like, we got some people. We got 34 people in here. If you are in here as a visitor, we welcome you. Become a member. Talk to us. We appreciate that. We got 6 visitors in here right now. So y'all make sure y'all leave us a membership over here. Join the crowd. Put on the notifications or whatever.
Don't steal our takes.
Yeah.
Or don't go and tweet that. And don't go and tweet that Patty Mills was J-Rich Insurance and not. Because boy, was that timing interesting.
No. Please go tweet that. Do that because that lets us know that you are watching and that you're paying attention, and we appreciate you nonetheless. Also, we have some people who I deem to be haters who have found us in the playback chat. We welcome you guys as well. Fuck you, but we welcome you in here. Continue to give out your bullshit ass takes. Some people will address them if they feel like it. I'm probably not gonna do it though.
Real quick, can I make a quick point?
Go ahead.
To all the Heat Mew stuff. This is why I want a lot of these. I want everybody but Bam really off this team. If I'm gonna be honest, all the little like Heat Mews accounts. Like, I see Duncan Robinson Mews. Like, man, we gotta get Hero out of here. I'm like, brother, I remember just last year, Duncan Robinson set the Heat 3-point record. Bro, what happened? Literally 2 hours later, Duncan Robinson's getting surgery on his hand. So he had a hand injury the whole year. Was just playing through it to set the record. As soon as he said it, everything was going wrong.
He's shaking them hips, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, bro.
He broke his hand.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad.
He's shaking them hips. Them hips moving for 14, ain't they?
Oh, no, he can go too. But here's my thing. I want people to get all the way there with me. It's like, yeah, man, Tyler Hero's not that valuable. I'm like, you're right. So how do we get that value there? If we want D Mitch, hey, Tyler, Jimmy, they try to go all in for a championship. You give us D Mitch, you get playoff riser Jimmy. You get can't hit threes Tyler. You don't lose D Mitch for nothing. People ain't gonna go there yet. That's where I need people to get to. The whole man, Jimmy Butler's still good enough. No, he's not. No, he's not. He needs to go.
I didn't
Go
mean
ahead,
to,
Harry.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm just running into thing. But I just wanted to say, I think you guys are kind of like downplaying what Jimmy did, especially in the Bucks and the Celtics series last year. And when you talk about these other guys that are comparable, you're saying like, oh yeah, these other guys. Like no one, if you switch Jimmy Butler with any guys you're talking about, they wouldn't have beaten the Bucks or the Celtics.
Ooh! Can I rebuttal?
Well, who do you got?
If you switch Jimmy Butler with Paul George and Paul George was on Indiana, they don't make it as far.
You mean if Jimmy was on Indiana?
If you switch Jimmy Butler with Paul George, put Jimmy Butler on those Indiana teams that were pushing the Miami Heat to the brink, they don't make it as far.
Also, Paul George from a decade ago, though. Or that's Jimmy Butler from a decade ago.
But this is my point.
I was more talking about Harry's point to like just last year's sample.
No. I understand that, but what I'm saying, LJ, is what Heat fans tend to do. And I love Harry. I love you. This is not smoke for Harry. We Heat fans, some of us, tend to overrate what he has done in Miami. The nigga has a career. Like, great. He had 3 cute playoff runs in his entire career.
100% correct.
What about when he blew that lead to Boston when Rondo got hurt in the playoffs? Why don't we talk about that? Why do we act like that doesn't matter?
Because who was the other player on that Chicago team with Jimmy?
It's fair. I'm not going to say his name.
Exactly. Because it doesn't exist. It didn't happen.
I'm not going to say his name. I'm talking about the Jimmy aspect of this. Like, Heat fans, baby, like, well, Jimmy has this incredible playoff. He's playoff Jimmy. He has this incredible playoff resume. He don't.
He got his face fried off by Harden.
Speak on it.
He was on Minnesota. Like,
didn't they get swept or they got 4-1 or something like that? Like,
he got his face fried off by Brent Forbes too.
I think
talk about it, LJ.
We had Trae Young or Donovan Mitchell. We probably could have got to the same place.
But the thing is like, bro, like
that Trae Young gonna hurt some people, Chelsea.
Yeah,
that's my thing is we can get these players. Listen, Jimmy's not him. He's 35. You have one last chance in this summer where you can take him, you can take Tyler, you can take Jaime, you can take everybody and get someone with Bam and move him. But they're not going to do that. So
we are not getting any.
I just want y'all to know that's Jimmy and Ernie in the comments going off on us like that. They can't trick me.
But the thing is like, bro, like, oh, Paul George is like, just to use him as an example, like Paul George went through a catastrophic, like, career-altering injury, like, and he still came back killing. Like, bro, like you can't tell Dale, like, if we get Paul George in 2020 and 2019, 2020, that our success the him under Spo at that point would have been any different. Coming off of finishing third in the MVP voting would have been any different than with Jimmy Butler. Because I look at them as like the same level of player, like in terms of impact and everything, bro. Like, and I appreciate what he did. I'm not saying like, oh, like did he overachieve? Yeah, but he's had a lot of like he's had help along the way. Like the only time I felt like he didn't really have help was in the 1 seat year where the help was flaky. But then it's like all this deep team, bro, like the deepest team that the Miami Heat have ever had while Jimmy Butler was here was literally the first year. We had two people who were like, I guess, G Leaguers. It was Nunn and Robinson. And everybody else was NBA players.
Yo, let me get in here real quick. So,
say excuse me.
First of all, with the whole Jimmy shit though, and his legacy, because I think I'm the one who said it. Like he's gonna be known as one of those losers, but like one of the great losers. Like for example, we got niggas like Gilbert Arenas, like you feel me? You got niggas like Tracy McGrady. You got niggas like Melo. Now, granted, these niggas in the regular season, Jimmy never seen their heights. He never did what they did in the regular season, even if like Gilbert Arenas was like a 4 season span. But when we're talking about the playoffs, lack of success, like the playoffs like almost got there, I feel like Jimmy is definitely gonna be in those conversations, like the Gilbert Arenas conversations, right? And I do think, well, when it comes to skill, Gilbert Arenas is better. But in terms of like, stature, legacy, when it's all said and done, like Jimmy's never gonna be like top tier like Barkley. Like we get it. Barkley's probably the greatest to never win. You also have guys like Chris Paul in that mix, Melo in that mix. But I definitely feel like in that second tier, maybe even third, Jimmy's name is gonna be in that conversation. I don't think he's gonna disappear like a fucking Mark Price or some shit. Like I think he's definitely gonna be like, yo, his name is gonna be heard at least for the next 20 years, like in
By
conversation.
who?
Can I
By
ask
who?
But like
can I
in terms of playoff risers,
okay,
like that's
Okay,
what
he's
he's gonna be
Jamal.
known as. He's
He's
a playoff
Jamal
riser.
Murray. He's Jamal Murray. Great.
no, you can't don't do that to
No.
Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's not
Oh yeah,
good.
Jamal Murray's a champion.
No, not
I
even.
mean, Jamal Murray's still young too.
Yeah,
Like,
he's still
you feel
young.
me? He's still in his prime. Like,
And I'm
it's
gonna be
different.
real. Like another reason why I don't want Jimmy's name, like I can't put Jimmy's name next to like the tier one people like a Melo, like a Charles Barkley, bruh. It's like even to some degree like a T Mac, bruh. It's like Jimmy never had to carry this team. Like he's never had to carry this team like from game one to the end of your regular season. And I think that's something that's played into like obviously it's a plan. It has to be because he would probably break down. Like so like when you say a Gilbert Arenas, like, I think that's where his name should be at the top of that list. Like, bro, because it's like I think I gotta give the dudes who carrying teams from day one, like all the way to the end, and even if they flaming out, I gotta give you like credit for like night in, night out
But
performing
like
and like
where I was going with that is like Jimmy is the anti-dumb. He's the reverse in the sense of like reported ahead. Shut the fuck up. But he's the anti-them in the sense of like, yeah, in the regular season, he might be coasting. Like these niggas, they never really stunt in the playoffs like that for real. But Jimmy in the playoffs, like he has the reputation of rising. And some of these other guys, a la Harden, have the reputation of falling, crashing. So I think it's the differences. But in terms of like the tier, like I don't think I'm never gonna put him with Melo because like Melo is just a different type of nigga. But like you feel me? I'll say Gilbert Arenas. I could see that at the top of that list type shit. And niggas don't forget about Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas isn't just a pass over, look over name. Like nah, Gilbert Arenas' name still holds that weight. So yeah, that's where I'm personally coming from.
I'll be talking. This is about Gilbert Arenas.
podcast. I do not I do not hear the name Gilbert Arenas.
I never hear Gilbert Arenas' name.
I really don't. That
nigga's a joke when we talk about niggas bringing guns. Like,
yeah. So like, I don't agree that. So this is what I do. I agree with them.
To be fair, I 100% think he belongs in the Gilbert Arenas category for niggas post basketball. The niggas who I do not talk about, absolutely, I agree, Jess.
No, but like, okay, so I agree with Justice's point. Like, there are tiers to niggas without rings. Somebody named Renee Lewis in the YouTube comments was like Melo tier 1 ? Of niggas who didn't win rings, Carmelo Anthony is absolutely a tier 1 player of that. Like him
and Charles might be one in
him and Charles might be 1 in 1A. Like Allen Iverson is in that class because of his influence on basketball. When it comes to Jimmy Butler,
be on the way.
Dame might be on the way if he don't win. Chris Paul, like,
in there.
Like those are players who are in the tier. But like you think of players like, let's say like Brandon Roy. Like for whatever reason, like Brandon Roy didn't get no championship because he was like hurt, but he ain't like
boy was fragile.
Correct, but he's talked about, like people talk about him because he can hoop, but he ain't like in no conversations. That's where I think the Jimmy Butler thing is going. Where like, yes, people who watch basketball will talk about Jimmy Butler, but there won't be like his influence over the league will wane as the years go. Like he will be forgotten in like 4 to 5 years. Like people won't be talking about his playing career anymore. Like that's just not. Somebody say Steve Francis.
It's Alonzo Mourning.
Bro, you know why
he
will be forgotten, bro? Because niggas who will come in, more guys will come into the NBA who are going to be better than him in the regular season and in the postseason, and they aren't going to win. This is why. Yeah. Like,
go ahead.
He don't stand out in no category, bro. I Googled it. The nigga got 14,757 career points. Who talks about niggas with those numbers? Like,
so the boy DeMar
DeRozan got like 20K.
Yeah,
bro. Like, Paul George is top 10 current scorers in the NBA. Among current players, he is top 10. Jimmy Butler might not even be top 50, gang. Like, and I'm supposed to respect this nigga? Like,
do y'all remember like people like Michael Redd?
Yeah, Michael Redd. But like DeMar DeRozan, y'all think like his legacy gonna step harder than Jimmy's?
Absolutely not. He's a loser.
No,
he won't. But does that mean that
I didn't really hear what y'all was saying about Paul George? What was the consensus of that?
The consensus is that Paul George has influence that's going to last long beyond what Jimmy's is. Like, I think Paul George's individual career will speak louder than Jimmy's team success career. Like, people want to attribute a lot of Jimmy Butler to team success. And it's kind of the point that people were making around about, like, people think Jimmy carried this team. He has not had that responsibility. He had the entire time Jimmy Butler has kind of ascended. He has had Bam Adebayo right there next to him. And so this is their build. It's not a Jimmy thing. You know what I'm saying? So like with Paul George, it's like, go ahead.
Among active players, this is like I said, just active. Jimmy Butler is 22nd in points. The nigga right on his heels, by the way, is Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris over me? He's 300 points, give or take, above Tobias Harris. You know who are the players above him already? Nikola Vucevic, Kevin Love, Klay Thompson, Drew Holiday, Mike Conley, Kyle Lowry. Stop me when I say a nigga that's really going to be remembered. Like, Klay will be remembered because of his shooting. Bradley Beal, Brook Lopez, Kyrie, Anthony Davis, Rudy Gay.
Kyrie will be remembered.
Yes, absolutely. AD will be remembered as well. Paul George. Giannis, Dame, Chris Paul, DeMar, Steph, Westbrook, James Harden, Kevin Durant, LeBron James. Most of them names I listed are not basketball players that are going to be remembered, gang. Like, at all. Their fans will remember them, and they'll get brought up like that. But, like, as far
that Vucevic hurt.
Hey, brother. As far, like,
that Vucevic got to be sobering for people on the other side of this argument.
Like, but as far as, like, the real, like, players, like that, like, niggas who, like, we really talk about.
All them stats don't mean shit. Like, that's, I'm sorry, I'm reading the YouTube comments. Somebody like, all them stats don't mean shit. And, like, Ty in the playback, who give a fuck? Oh, now you don't give a fuck.
Now we don't
But
care.
you laugh.
Niggas care, bro.
Ty also said, now list the playoffs. He's 9th. LeBron, KD, Steph Curry, James Harden, Clay, Chris Paul, Kawhi, Russell Westbrook, all ahead of them. You know the person that's right on his heels? Paul George, Giannis, Jason Tatum.
2 gonna pass him for sure.
But let's do this though.
Jaylen Brown.
Let's take Paul George. Let's take Paul George
Nikola
and put
Jokic.
him in Miami. Let's take Paul George and put him in Miami for the past 5 years, and put Jimmy Butler on the Clippers. Like, is that list still looking the same, or does Paul George already pass Jimmy Butler?
He's past them. And I'm gonna be honest, Jimmy Butler will be on his 15. There's no way Jimmy would have been dealing with that shit, that all that Kawhi inactivity, getting hurt. Like, Jimmy would have left. He would have left.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, so
plus Bam would have looked better too. Just saying.
Well, hey, brother, listen.
Bam PG.
Can we pivot? Can we pivot the conversation? Because I think it's hilarious.
We got about another like 15, 20 minutes before I got to get up out of here and go pick up my children.
All right, because, bruh, we've gotten to the point where this shit has just broken down to the fact that Bam said, I woke up one morning and just started shooting threes. That nigga looked around and
he said, I decided.
Yeah, I decided, yeah. Because he walked into the gym and shoot around and said, I got to play with the one right. Haywood Highsmith, Nikola Jovic, Jaime Jaquez, and Caleb Martin. This is who I'm going to war with.
Who else going to shoot him?
That exactly. That nigga put the Pro-Am Bam jersey on underneath.
I would just hit you with the Tyler Hero logic, bro.
Right. He said, fuck it. If Spo dare say some shit right now, he gonna hear from me. Ain't no way you gonna complain about me firing off these bitches at this point.
He got that Tyler Hero devil on his ear? Shoot it, man.
But he got some sense though.
Somebody said if you put Jimmy on the Clippers, they would have won the chip. Relax.
What
bud.
year?
Relax. This is the Clippers that we are talking about, buddy. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but Jimmy Butler is not able to drag any team to a championship because he's never done it. He's
so
never
niggas
even
is
drugged
basically saying Kawhi wouldn't have got hurt. When how the fuck does that happen when that nigga always hurt?
Or Jimmy is going to do something that he hasn't been able to do with the Miami Heat. Like he
was gonna drag Doc Rivers. He was gonna drag Doc Rivers.
Right to the championship.
Everybody clown.
Come on, bro.
Hey, quick question. How much does Spo hate Jamal King?
Because
why did they give him a standard contract? Just
brother, I asked this question.
Golden Glove, that's a good question. They say Jimmy winning the West. Yeah, that's what he telling y'all. Jimmy Butler gonna beat LeBron James, Nikola Jokic. Come on, bro.
Like, we signed Patty
He was
Mills,
gonna beat LeBron and AD.
Yeah, he gonna beat LeBron and AD.
The year AD could shoot threes, Royal.
Are you guys sick? You guys are insane. I want to
let
LJ
can I just hey and Dale, you right. We gonna switch it, but I just need to get this off my chest, bro. I guarantee you, bro, none of you niggas was dick riding Jimmy Butler this hard when he was in Minnesota or Chicago. If niggas would have been telling y'all Jimmy Butler was this great player, y'all would have laughed in their faces. He was irrelevant the way he's been his entire career. And to be fair, the way he still is now, bro. Niggas that really, really, really enjoy basketball do not enjoy Jimmy Butler, my nigga. He cute for the playoffs. It's cute for them. Let's keep it a bean. Niggas like Jimmy Butler for 2 weeks in the playoffs. That's where he's fun. That's where it's enjoyable. That first round and that second round where he frying in that nigga Drew Holiday face off, brother, is beautiful. You love to see it. Outside of that, who gives a fuck about Jimmy Butler when you actually care about basketball?
The Panthers just signed Jadeveon Clowney, by the way.
All-time bag getter right there. Salute to that.
Come on, bro. Come on, brother. He is. I need to see this.
They hate Bryce Young so much, bro.
And just like
keep pounding.
On that little boy, man. Like, that's save Bryce, bro. Whoa. My fault. Where's Ricky? Hey, yo.
Whoa. They drafted Bryce Young and said, hey, DJ Moore, we'll see you later. Adam Thielen, get in here. Craziest thing I've ever seen.
LJ, thank you for popping in. We were talking about the Random Scrub Heat podcast with Harry before we all just kind of like jumped him because he said something ridiculous. But want to hear your thoughts on this conversation. Then we're gonna go to Abbott, and then I'll let everybody just kind of get their final thoughts before we wrap it up.
Well, that's good. I was enjoying just kind of sitting back and listening. I wanted to jump in for a second when I heard. I forget who said it. Maybe it was Dolphin that said that maybe we don't. We would have traded blowing the 3-0 lead to Boston for a championship. I don't listen.
Yeah.
That's a stink that you can't get rid of.
Dolphin, are you in my bag? Like, I like it.
Somebody, I don't know if it was him. I was just listening.
It was Dolphin.
That's what I thought, because I was like, I feel like I can speak for everyone in here when I said that we all felt like we got away with murder when the Heat won Game 7, because I was sweating bullets. That's a stink you can't wash off of you. So,
that's that butt ass.
That's like eating out a skunk. I could never.
LJ don't get that.
Never can you wash
butt
that
ass.
That's a nuke.
That's that Jenny Party smell.
Dale was talking about it too. That's a short graphic. You're 100% seems to do it. I don't think I'd trade a championship for being the first and only team to blow a 3-0 lead in NBA basketball.
The rationale being it'll happen eventually.
It will. No, it 100%. I just don't want to be the one to set that record, personally. But as far as the title, I forgot to tell Harry when he uploaded the pod episode, I wanted the episode to be called "We've Had Enough," because
I thought that was so appropriate, bro. Like I thought that was a beautiful name, bro.
Thank you, because I forgot. It's my fault. I didn't tell. No way you could have known. So that's on me. Hand up. But we talked about it.
I listened to the pod, and that's the reason why I named that because of your name on the pod.
Thank you. I love the recognition, but at the same time, what we got into it on the pod a little bit, where it was like the Heat team now we're at the end of year 5 basically, and there are no signs of any change up to year 6. And you look at teams that have had the same type of core but have changed it up multiple times in a shorter amount of time. Mainly the Golden State Warriors, who we let Klay Thompson look like, before he blew out his knee twice. That's the Klay Thompson we saw last night. But the Warriors have gone through 3 separate builds, won a championship in every single one of those builds in a 7 to 8 year stretch. They know how to adapt and evolve and not keep the same stale thing. They had their original build. They won a chip. They lost to Bron and Kyrie, and they said, let's go be bitches. They got KD because that first build ended in a loss. They went and got KD. And then what happened? They won a couple more. Then KD, they would have won more, but KD blew out his leg. That's neither here nor there. He blew out his leg. That run ended in a loss. They sat back, they recouped, they readjusted, and then they won another championship in a third establishing build. That's how it's done. After the Heat lost that first time to the Lakers, they should have said, all right, let's get back to the drawing board, keep the main pieces, add accordingly. They didn't. They got embarrassed in the first round, and then they said, okay, maybe now it's time to actually add accordingly. And they did, got the number 1 overall seed, and then lost to the Celtics, and then said, nah, let's keep doing it. And then they fucking make an improbable run, which was admittedly very fun to watch. I had a great time watching it. But at the end of the day, it ended in jack shit. So it doesn't matter. And then they've done the same exact thing again. So it's like it's concurrently doing the same exact thing over and over, expecting a different result, expecting Jimmy Butler to be Superman. It's going to end eventually. People don't want to hear it. I know. I mean, New probably wants to hear it, but
it's Jover. It's Spover.
It's never been more Spover than it is now.
Jimmy missed that 3 against Boston Game 7, and the Heat front office said, how many more seasons? Here go 2 more for y'all.
He's literally LeBron. He's LeBron creating the deluxe album. He's like, here's 2 more for you. That's literally what they tried to do. And it hasn't worked. It's not going to work unless they do something just insane again. I don't see history being shattered for the second year in a row from a play-in team. But that's
won't
their
be history. It would need to be ACLs and Achilles.
Like you would need something catastrophic to happen to the Denver Nuggets, because you make it through the East.
Catastrophic to happen to the whole NBA that it would affect next season. Jokic, Braun, Tatum, Giannis, Dame. Bro, you could just start naming how many ACLs and Achilles that need to pop and tear to where
Stop.
next
I think
season.
you're speaking into
Wait,
existence. Please
wait.
stop.
Yo, let's
He's
just
not wrong though. The Heat can make it through the East. We've seen
Just
that.
to
That doesn't
win.
scare me. But it's like you get to the West, every number one option from teams 1 through 10 in the West need to have a Kevin Ware-esque injury for the Heat to have a
Oh
chance.
my god,
Good
bro.
lord,
That's
you
what they
evil
need.
villain.
Oh my god, bro.
I
That
don't
shit
endorse
was-
it. I hope it doesn't happen.
Hey, just get ready for Run It Back Part 6, man. We know how it's
Man,
going.
hey, bro. I mean, the fact that
All
we
I
know how
know
this
is-
movie, the fact that this movie, the way we know that, the fact that we know how this movie's going to end, does not like stop us from complaining about it on the way down. What you was about to say, Dale?
I just turned on my TV and I see Anthony Richardson. When I see him run this ball,
Come on now, come on now. New Cam be moving me
Hey,
sometimes.
he looks too alike, doesn't he?
Shut the fuck up.
oh no. Let's not talk about.
Two
Let's not
can never
talk
be
about.
black.
Yeah, for real. He's white.
This man Renee Lewis in the YouTube comments, I've been entertained by just like the level of like veracity that you've come at us with. Like he said, why can't we just watch and enjoy? Well, because this product is not enjoyable.
Enjoyable.
We have the worst offense in the NBA in the best offensive era, and you're telling us to enjoy them scoring 88 points. That's
They
crazy.
cannot score 104 points, and he want us to just watch the game.
Yeah.
100.
You are fucking sick. Like,
And then he
Also
said-
talking about injuries, like the Warriors lost in the finals due to injuries, but that doesn't apply to the Heat. No, the Warriors lost to injuries and then still changed it up and then won again.
We have the worst offense. We have the
I
worst
see you,
offense than the
D-Master.
Pistons. Do people enjoy watching the Pistons? Actually, they have talent, so they enjoy it more than watching the Heat.
He said, "Well, don't watch." Like, I mean, I look. Bro.
All right. Okay. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Listen, bro. Like, it's kind of like
nigga said,
it's-
love
it's-
yourself.
Yeah, it's kind of like, look, bro. Like, you're not gonna tell me what to do at my own time, but like, I can watch this team and honestly just talk about what it is and what it ain't. Like, if you want me to delude myself into believing something that's just not there, I'm just here to tell you what my eyes are telling me, bro. Like, I watch this team; it's not entertaining, but I also, I have no hobby that I enjoy more than watching basketball, particularly the Heat. The Heat, like, I like the Heat a lot. I don't like their brand of basketball right now. And so, like, I'm going to watch and I'm going to talk about it. You don't like it? You don't have to watch. You don't have to watch this at all, brother. Like, I appreciate you watching, but you really don't have to watch us.
Nigga came to our YouTube to tell us we don't have to watch as he watch us. Like,
hey, bro.
Nigga, shut up.
Hey, bro. Hey, no. Yes. Well, yes and no. Yes, shut up.
Wait,
because
bro,
you-
I got a better idea. Nigga,
What's
go
up?
down to Checkers and get us some big Bufors.
Come.
Get us a sweet tea while you're there.
Half of the non-basement nigga. How about he, joins playback and speak for
Correct.
himself, and go.
Correct. I'll put the link to the play.
Like,
I'll put the link to the playback in there. Listen, you're not gonna have time to do it today, but I can tell you like this: whenever you want to come up here and disagree with me, there's some people in the playback who ain't did it. Whenever you want to disagree with me, bro, feel free to jump up on this playback and you can talk to me directly. And you say, "Nah, I'm sweet." Okay. Abbott, want to let you get your opportunity to speak, bro. Go ahead.
You say he Caleb Williams?
That's what I'm saying.
that sounds like a gay slur.
No Diddy.
My bad.
Go ahead, Abbott.
Not trying to restart the Jimmy Butler thing, but I feel like everybody's being a little extreme there on both ends. I just want to say real quick, the player y'all looking for is Reggie Miller. Like I said it before, but that's it. But we don't got to go back to that. It's actually nice, seeing everybody accept the real reality is that we are a hot pack of ass, 2-pack of ass, in the words of Joseph Butler. Some real bullshit they've been trolling out since September 27, 2023. So, I mean, y'all, I don't know. How many games we got left? 10?
Yeah.
Is there any way we could go 0-10 and not have to deal with May? April and May.
Locked in, bro. We locked in the play-in. We are clinched.
Yeah, I just looked at it. I know. But in my ideal world, We 0-10 and we out this bitch. And I mean, if 22 gotta go, then 22 gotta go. 14 definitely gotta go. 55, you have restored your value, so you can go. And I don't know what the fuck else. I don't know. You can't really retrade Terry. Like you overpaid for Terry, so I don't know what the fuck you about to get back.
Yeah, watch me work.
Listen, I just keep seeing the whole shit. Where like,
You know, it's
Terry still
bro.
overpaid. I'm like,
Hold on, Abbott. Hold on. I don't think people caught that. You just said we overpaid for Terry Rozier, and we literally traded Kyle Lowry.
And no, we traded Kyle Lowry
and the first. I know what we
and they first. When you had niggas flying around the league left and right for seconds. So, but to as Harry always say, they ain't never got no fucking seconds because they signed niggas to trash contract and then you gotta give up seconds to get rid of them. So, you know, this franchise is real dog shit. Like, we deserve better. This is some bullshit.
RJ Hampton didn't move you.
Oh. How many games does RJ play, bro?
RJ not on this team no more, is he? No.
I forgot.
He may have almost played as much as Tyler Hero.
Oh my god, that bullshit at the beginning of the season. Who getting the last roster spot? Yada yada yada. To go to fucking Drew Smith, who got hurt in like 6 games.
I think this team is deeper than last year's team is the more annoying one.
Oh, that's the biggest bullshit. All 5 of them reasons is lying ass niggas. All 5 of them.
If we re-signed last year's team, they still wouldn't be playing right now.
Oh, yeah. Like when Gay played 15 games or some shit for the Lakers.
God, bro.
I got a homie who's a Lakers fan. He mad as fuck, but I tried to warn him about that shit. I said, y'all learned this lesson with Kendrick Nunn. I guess you ain't learning it hard enough. So
okay, so somebody named Steph in the YouTube comments is how we trash if we keep beating every team in the East every season. We
ain't beating nobody this year.
we lost to the Washington Wizards, bro.
Teams. We lose to every good team and the Wizards. We lost every good team in the Wizards. We are fucking ass. We haven't
beaten the Celtics. We beat the Bucks once without Jimmy. The Cavs don't count. We haven't beaten the Knicks. We haven't beaten the Nuggets. We haven't beaten the Thunder. We didn't beat Minnesota. We didn't beat the Clippers. Like, what the fuck is he talking
outside
about?
the Bucks, I think the best.
Can the fans stop talking like the 2022 Hawks? This is what the Hawks sounded like. We don't care about the regular season.
The same person that Steph said no first the Heat draft is going to be better than Terry.
What?
Isaiah Collier moves me.
Bro, niggas be special ed, bro. Like, niggas really be sped, bro. Niggas had a 5-man rotation in their classrooms, bro, and 3 coaches. Like, I'm like,
they read with the on the page.
So look in the playback comments, y'all see D Master 94 D Master V. I don't, bro. You've been commenting on everything for a long time. I need you to phonetically put out like, it doesn't matter. The boy 94. He said Tyler said I had a good practice today, but I ain't coming back no time soon. Like, is that an actual quote?
Yeah,
he
was being sarcastic on the back half of it.
He was trying to pull the Lonzo ball on Shannon.
You probably shouldn't have said anything.
Because it came out after. Hold on, he was just being sarcastic. He got a message straight from Pat, just saying, "Tell that fucking retard to shut up."
Oh yeah, D Master, we know, gang. You've been with us for a long time, bro. I already know you fucked with us the long way. But yeah, I'm about to wrap this up. So let's get last words from everybody on the stage. And follow the rest of these niggas on Twitter if you'd like. Don't follow me. I don't want your follows. I will just piss you off because I'm going to tweet what I want. And nothing you say will move me off of my square because I'm real. So Chow Su, give Royal a 10-day contract. Brother, I ain't going to do nothing but rob them motherfuckers. I'm going to be eating potato chips. I'm not passing the conditioning test. None of that, bro. And I'm standing in the corner, and I will not move. Chow Su, last words, and then I'm going to punch your ass off the stage.
All right, people. It's over. It's time to this whole reality stuff. We going to win in the East, guys. We stink. We can't score 88 points. Patty Mills is taking 7 shots a quarter, slowly killing us. DeLon Wright stinks like his brother. It's genetic, I guess. Thomas Bryant thinks he can shoot threes. It's over. You don't have to accept reality, but you should accept watching a different team.
I think those are wise words. Thank you, Chow Su. We'll see you next time. Let's go to Dolphin next. Dolphin.
For those who thought my take was a little in an alternate world, you would have seen Damian Lillard, Jimmy Butler, and Bam all hugging, kissing, all kinds of beautiful shit because they won that championship. And you'd have been like, you know what? It was a major road bump, but it was all fucking worth it. However, we don't live in that world. And to that, I'll just say, you know what? If you don't like Heat basketball, just play basketball. If you don't like to watch, just fucking play it. That's all.
Thank you, Dolphin. Appreciate you as always, gang. We'll see you next time. Abbott, my boy, go ahead.
This team is dog shit. You know, ready to lose in the play-in. Even though we about to, I guess, if we win somehow, we got to play the Bucks. But it'll be nice to see Damian Lillard and Giannis put their foot on our ass, and a lesson be learned to not be super arrogant for no reason. So
I too would like to see the Miami Heat play the Milwaukee Bucks and have Dame average 40 points per game in the series. Justo, to your comment, yes, I am Kyle Lowry. Just the bless, my boy. Go ahead.
46, 36, 6 seed, Cavs 3rd seed, Heat Cavs. Y'all gonna think they gonna win. Yeah, all right.
Cavs in 5. What the fuck is you talking about? Appreciate you, Jess. Ricky. Good talk. LJ.
Yeah, get ready to learn first round play-in against the Philadelphia 76ers. Hope you're fluent.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, LJ. These last two I left up here because if I kick them off, they probably just put themselves back on the stage. Anyway, New, we're going to go with you because you're the least rude of the two.
Appreciate that. I just want to say just real quick. My first final thought is that nigga Just Bless got a real nasty bag because he was on this same playback channel like a week and a half ago saying these niggas was gonna win 50 games and they was gonna get the 4 seed and all it. No, put your hand down, nigga. You ain't getting back on stage. You got a nasty bag. It's real nasty. It's been nasty. It's gonna stay nasty because you's a nasty nigga. That's my first thought. My second thought. Dude, I got some homework for you losers like Jimmy Butler. Go just look up niggas who are in the statistical categories of Jimmy Butler in his career and tell me if any of these niggas are remembered before y'all keep trying to tell me he will be. Have a great day, people.
Thank you, New. You have a great day as well. Kendall, final thoughts, bro?
And this nigga called me rude. He was absolutely right. To the people, love yourselves because the Heat don't love you. The game that we once loved is gone. The hip drop tackle is well and alive. And, you know, at least we got Bam threes. So, yeah.
That's real. Appreciate you, Kane. Look, we appreciate all y'all for tapping in with us. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Basement Sports Network on YouTube. If you came in here and you're not a member, make sure you become a member of us on Playback. Follow us on Twitch at Basement Sports Gaming. Shout out to our sponsors, Simple Health Advisors and Aim High Hit Higher Enterprises. Always appreciate y'all taking the time to come here and talk to me in the middle of the day when I'm not really doing my job and we just need some time to talk about the Heat, vent a little bit. So we appreciate y'all as always. Y'all remember, like LJ say, stay good people, and we'll see y'all next time. Have a good day.